What keeps you motivated and passionate about your work?
Oh my gosh, everything. Absolutely everything. I mean, everybody has bad days, but our good days outnumber our bad days 100 to 1. Um, Knowing you've made a difference, even if it's just a small difference, knowing that we are making the world a better place, knowing that we're showing people something that they didn't know before or they didn't understand. It's just, I feel like the reason, my personal belief is really the reason that we're on this earth is to just make a positive impact, even if it's small, you know. I think that's the most important thing we can do, especially with the way this world is going and all the hate and all the discord and just everything. Just to do something positive, it's so important. And when you have that success, and we have so many, it just, it's the most incredible feeling.
Absolutely, right? And that's kind of the mission of like Sponsor Pet is to create positive change and to show positivity and to inspire people through that because people respond so much better through that, right? There's much more of a genuine connection through that rapport and showing that as opposed to just the traditional means that have been done for so long to elicit a response that's very cylindrical and not, building those lasting relationships. And that's part of what we want to do here is to be able to tell your story and the mission and the work that you're doing so our audience can connect with you and really be able to appreciate that, hey, you're not just a name or a logo with, and some stories here. There's much more to it than that.
Absolutely. And I feel like showing the positive is so important. People want to see good things. We need that right now. And there is so much positive. We want people to see that. We want people to see that if they donate or if they follow us, like there might be this tragic thing that happens. There are tragic things that happen all the time, but if you follow what we're doing, 9 times out of 10, there's this like amazing ending and it makes it all worth it. And people need that. I need that. Everybody needs that.
Absolutely, right? You need to see the success and all the work and how and where it goes, right? And to be able to continue the journey and to follow along, you know, as you go through with everything there. It's just incredible work. What advice or one piece of advice would you give someone looking to start their own nonprofit
Mm.
before they would jump in, I would say, right?
Okay, so my piece of advice for somebody looking to start a nonprofit is I'm happy with how ours is going, but I wouldn't necessarily recommend the way I did it. I would definitely, do a lot of research, learn about the area that you want to focus in specifically. It's been harder for us because there's just so much need in so many different areas. But really try to focus on what is the most important thing for you. Surround yourself with positive people. Um, have a vision for what you want to do and really don't give up. You have to have so much passion and you have to be so determined. And I found that if you do that, you get lucky like we did, and you find people like Sponsor a Pet where you can kind of feed off each other and feed off each other's passion and love for what you're doing. And it's really wonderful.
That's great advice, right? And I would echo that statement where, you know, focus on an area first, get really good at that before trying to boil the ocean and do everything at once because you just can't take everything on at once, right? And
And you
so
get overwhelmed and so beaten down. Um, so just really educate yourself. We felt like we had no choice into jumping in the way we jumped in. We had a couple really bad situations, and we weren't fully prepared to do it. So we kind of did it the school of hard knocks sort of way because there was that immediate need for us to do something. But if
mhm.
you're really starting out, you know, hire an attorney, learn about the process, and just really take your time and focus on what you want to do. and just have that passion and know that that passion is not going to go away, because with so many negatives in this sort of space, you have to know that you can make it, and you have to keep that passion and know that, you know, if you see bad things or if you struggle, that you're still going to want to do it, because at the end of the day, you know, especially if you have a shelter or animals that depend on you, they depend on you, and that is so important that you be there for them.
100%. Where you have to always be able to work backwards. Like, here's your end goal. How do I get there? And have the steps along the way to be able to hit that. Right. You have to treat it as a business almost as well. Right. There's saving the animals is the one aspect of it, but there's a lot of part that goes into being able to make sure that you can sustain that and be, you know, I don't want to say successful, but able to keep what you're doing there and have the pieces in place that you need to be able to do all that work.
And if you can't, to have a mentor, have people that you can reach out that are in a similar space that you can bounce ideas off of and play out scenarios with, and kind of get a feel as to, you know, what things you might face. You know, we've had so many wonderful people that we've met throughout this journey, and each and every one of them has given us some sort of like information or tips or help or support that have really helped us grow into what we're growing into.
And I would say you can reach out to the sponsor pet community. We have a tremendous amount of knowledgeable people here that are willing and able to help and to just bounce ideas off of, and who have been there and done that, that can really provide support, and lend their ear. So,
Absolutely. And I said this before, this organization really feels like a community. It's not a business. It doesn't feel like a business. We've tried to work with other people and it just felt like a business. This community and Sponsor a Pet really feels like a friendship, you know, and it's wonderful and it's refreshing, and it's just such a positive experience.
and I would say we are friends at this point. We have each other's cell phone numbers, right? We text, we go back and forth and bounce ideas off of one another and help each other out.
To say.
Yeah.
No,
But it's good, right? I mean, it's great to be able to help and to see the change and to provide a really a platform that just doesn't exist. Yeah, there's similar models in how we do it, but the way that we really choose to do it is the right way, right?
it's and it's fantastic. It is the right way, because it's not all doom and gloom. Let me see how much money I can bring in. It's, let me show you what people are doing. Let me give you a way to see from the start to the finish how things are happening, you know, see where your donations go and what good you're doing, rather than just like a sad picture on TV, send me money. Because I mean, that might bring in the money, but at least for me as a rescuer, I want people to see the whole story. I want them to see, you know, you might have donated $5 to this really awful situation. 3 months down the road, there is this beautiful, healthy cat or dog that is doing fantastic, that has this wonderful life and a future and is loved. So through Sponsor a Pet, you get to see the journey, and that's so important.
I couldn't agree more.